Portugal, a small country with a big soul. Hidden corners with unreal beauty, places you won't believe until you see them. If you're planning a trip to Portugal, these are the places you're gonna wanna visit. Trust me. If you don't know me, this is some guy named Dave in Portugal, a normal dude that's been making videos about Portugal for the past 3 years, and these are my absolute favorite places I've visited so far. Forget the cutesy Instagram filters, the cringe-worthy YouTube couples, the cookie-cutter TikTok travel hacks. This is Portugal, raw, unfiltered, and completely unapologetic. Bora lá. If Portugal had a soul, you'd find it here in Alentejo, a land of wide horizons, ancient traditions, and a rhythm that forces you to slow down and savor the moment. It's a place that every Portuguese person carries in their heart, whether they have roots here or not. But one thing is certain, Alentejo is one of the most authentic and underrated regions in Portugal. This often overlooked region is home to some of Portugal's best remote beaches along the Alentejo coastline. Coastal villages like Porto Covo offer a more authentic, less touristy feel. In the heart of Alentejo lies the ancient and charming city of Évora, home to a pillared Roman temple and the hauntingly beautiful Chapel of Bones. If there's one city I recommend visiting in all of Portugal, it's Évora. And don't miss the chance to bathe in ancient Roman baths. When's the last time you could say you've done that? More details and links of all the places mentioned in this video will be available on my Instagram at @DaveInPortugal. Further north, in Alto Alentejo, you'll find some of Portugal's most breathtaking castles. Marvão, in particular, stands out with its stunning hilltop garden and sweeping views of Spain in the distance. Then there's the wine. Alentejo is known for its bold, full-bodied, fruit-forward wines that offer exceptional quality at a surprisingly affordable price. Even if you never make it to this region, you must try its wine. This is also home to Portugal's finest olive oil, thanks to a climate perfectly suited for cultivation. But keep in mind, the interior of Alentejo holds the record for Portugal's hottest temperatures, reaching a scorching 47 degrees Celsius or 117 degrees Fahrenheit. It's best to avoid visiting in the peak of summer. Portugal is often touted for its slow pace of life, but no region in Portugal represents this quite like Alentejo. If you're interested in knowing my go-to restaurants in Lisbon, Algarve, and Porto, 3 years of eating, drinking, and trying to make sense of it all, the good, the bad, and the truly unforgettable, I've put together a list of the places that stuck with me. Not the overpriced Instagram famous joints, but the spots where I actually go back again and again. If you're looking to skip the tourist menus and eat like someone who actually lives here, you'll find it all at daveinportugal.com. There's a link in the description below. No gimmicks, just damn good food. Some places are pretty, others are charming. And then there's northern Portugal, where beauty comes with scars, where charm has calluses. This is a place that doesn't give a damn if you like it or not. It's too busy being itself, unapologetically, authentically, fiercely. Porto, the capital of the north, the tough, no-nonsense older brother to Lisbon's sun-kissed golden child. Built by fishermen, merchants, and a whole lot of stubborn bastards who refuse to bow to kings. People here don't put on airs. They tell you how it is, and they drink like they mean it. This is Douro Valley, one of the most unique wine regions in the world, where wine grows in terraced rows, catching rays of the reflective sun off the water, contributing to its complex taste and terroir. A day trip on a wine tour will be one of the most magical things you've ever done in your life, trust me. The Minho is Portugal's wild north, rain-soaked, green as hell, and somehow still undiscovered. If you want history, wander through Guimarães, the so-called birthplace of Portugal, where a bunch of medieval badasses decided to carve out this beautiful country of their own. Braga is older than Portugal itself, and it knows it. And then you have Peneda Gerês, Portugal's only national park that is home to incredible sanctuaries and countless waterfalls. One of my favorite places in all of Portugal. If you're a nature lover, this is a must. I love making these videos and a ton of passion and time goes into them. But let's be real, YouTube barely pays small creators like me. Thankfully, sponsors help to keep this channel going, so big thanks to today's sponsor, Incogni. This is a true story, and honestly, it's a bit terrifying. A friend of mine, let's call him Jake, woke up one day to find out he had a massive loan taken out in his name. The problem? He never applied for it. Someone had stolen his identity before he had even knew what was happening. They had taken out nearly $50,000 in his name. And the worst part, he didn't even realize until the bank sent him a late payment notice. And it's not just personal loans. Some scammers are even using stolen identities to take out home mortgages. Imagine getting a letter saying you owe money on a house that you've never even seen. Luckily, there's a way to fight back. Incogni is a service that takes on data brokers, the sketchy companies that collect and sell your personal data. By law, they have to delete your info if you ask them to. But doing that yourself would take weeks. That's where Incogni comes in. You sign up, and within minutes, they start contacting dozens of data brokers on your behalf. You can even track the whole process on their dashboard, seeing them remove your data in real time. Incogni finds your exposed data and gets it removed automatically. It's like your first line of defense against identity theft. Right now, if you use the code DavePortugal at Incogni.com, you'll get 60% off their annual plan. Take back control of your personal data today with Incogni. Now, back to the video. Madeira, a place that shouldn't exist. A volcanic rock in the middle of the Atlantic, somehow bursting with life. The kind of place where the air is thick with salt, the mountains disappear into the clouds, and the food, my God, the food is as good as it gets. You eat well here. Grilled lapas, something like a chewier clam drowning in garlic and butter. Espetada, beef skewered on bay laurel branches, kissed by smoke and flame. There's bolo do caco, a deceptively simple flatbread that, when done right, can ruin you for all other bread. And the seafood, pulled from the ocean just hours before it hits your plate. But one of the most special things are the people here. The kind that make you stay for one more drink, one more plate, one more story. Warm, generous, always ready to pour you another poncha. Madeira's dangerously drinkable sugarcane firewater. You don't sip it, you throw it back like a local, and then suddenly the night stretches a little longer. And then there's the landscape. Mountains that look like they belong in some long-lost world, levadas winding through impossibly green forests, cliffs so high they make your stomach drop. Madeira is the kind of place that doesn't just welcome you, it pulls you in, feeds you well, fills your glass, and makes you wonder, why the hell didn't you come here sooner? Açores, or as you probably know it in English, the Azores. Middle of nowhere, edge of everything. 9 volcanic islands, each one different, each one beautiful in its own strange, untamed way. The kind of place where nature doesn't exist, it dominates. The Atlantic isn't a backdrop here, it's the main character. Life bends around it, depends on it, thrives because of it. You eat what the ocean gives you. Fat, meaty lapas grilled with garlic and butter, chunks of tuna so fresh they practically melt on your tongue, and octopus slow cooked in red wine until it falls apart, rich, briny, and perfect. Then there's the cozido, a fresh feast of meats and vegetables buried in volcanic steam until it's impossibly tender. Not a gimmick, just the way it's done here. And the people, they're built like the islands. Tough, weathered, but welcomes you in a way that sneaks up on you. Farmers, fishermen, cheesemakers, and winemakers, people who know the land, respect the sea, and live by both. They'll feed you more than you can handle, pour you another glass, tell you old stories about shipwrecks and sailors who never made it home. And the landscape, unreal. One moment you're standing on a black sand beach, waves crashing at your feet. The next, you're hiking through a green nature with waterfalls spilling down cliffs, everything green and alive. There are lakes that change colors, hills that disappear into the mist, just the edge of the world and an ocean that never ends. The Azores isn't just a place, it's a feeling, wild, untamed, impossibly beautiful. Monsanto, once dubbed the most Portuguese village of Portugal. A village carved out of rock, clinging to the sky like it's been here forever. Because in some ways, it has. A place where history isn't just a thing you read about, it's something you walk on, something you feel under your feet. Cobbled streets twist through ancient boulders, houses built into stone like they've grown there. It shouldn't make sense, but somehow it does. Such an impressive landscape, it was featured in Game of Thrones series House of the Dragon. And the people, tough as the rock beneath them. This is a village that survived invasions, wars, kings, and time itself. The kind of place where doors are always open, where wine is poured without asking, where stories are told like they matter. Because here, they do. And the view, standing atop and looking out the endless plains of the Beta Baixa, you understand why people built a village here, why they fought to keep it. There's something about Monsanto, something raw, something unshakable. It doesn't try to impress you, it doesn't need to. Monsanto is Portugal at its most ancient, most resilient, most unforgettable. You don't just visit, you climb, you eat, you listen, and if you're lucky, you understand. These have been my top 5 must-see places if you come to Portugal. Now there are so many places to see while you're here. This is just my personal greatest hits. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite place in Portugal is. If you're coming to Portugal, whether to visit or stay, and you want the real deal, I'm offering a limited number of one-on-one consulting sessions, an hour to cut through the noise to help you plan a trip that doesn't suck or make sense of the bureaucratic maze that comes with moving here. Spots are few and they'll go fast. If you want in, head to daveinportugal.com. There will be a link in the description below. And if you want to see more content about visiting Portugal or the rest of Europe, I'll be posting videos like these every single week on this channel. This is some guy named Dave in Portugal, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.